Danielle.
Hi, Casey.
How are you?
I'm glad we're back together. It feels like it's been a week or two since we've been together in the Nook. We're back in the Nook.
We're back with Lyra. We're having our orange wine.
Yes, I'm having my orange Sunkist diet. Because I'm not a monster drinking sugar.
We're not part of the body positive generation.
Fuck them. Even Jackie and her lettuce salad.
Wow. We have so much to discuss about Jackie.
That was a shock. When she got a Cobb salad, I was like, okay, Jackie.
Yeah.
Okay. And then to show us just
what returned was what our guest, who will be coming out soon, said was, I think, a plate of dry romaine or a pile of dry romaine, something. It was shocking.
It was.
Nothing on it.
Not even a bit of oil.
Not even a little, sprinkle of Parmesan.
Yeah, I don't think I saw water on it.
It was shocking. Okay, we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
But I just want to say I don't subscribe to that. I'm having a Sunkist, guys.
And we've had our dinner. Danielle, it was just Valentine's Day.
It sure was. What was your Valentine? Did you do anything?
Well, I did do something very strange, which is that on Galentine's, February 13th, you and I went to an event at the Jane Club for Galentine's where it was a really nice event. Yes. You toast your best friend.
Which we weren't toasting each other.
No,
we are
God,
very
no.
close. God, no. I didn't say a goddamn nice thing about you.
Nope. You brought someone else and I brought someone else.
I know. It was like we were showing up on other dates.
I was like, who's this now?
Who's this? Oh, Miss June Diane? Well, good to know she's your best friend.
And I was like, who's this? Your best friend.
That was my best friend from childhood, basically my sister, Erica, who is a cancer researcher, okay?
And as you said, which really made me laugh when you were toasting her, you're like, Erica does cancer research. I talk about the Real Housewives and I write jokes for a living, and it's both
very important work. Such important works. I don't know which of us is more of a hero. I think it's me.
I think it's you.
It's me.
I think it's you.
I mean, she's doing something with cancer, but me, I'm really healing people's hearts.
Well, but it was so cute. Yeah, we toasted our best friends. I thought that was so nice.
Yes, and we were given some I gave my friend some jewels from Kendra Scott. It was a Jane Club. I love that place.
I do too. Then for Valentine's Day, I was with my husband and my kids, but then we were like, well, let's go out on Saturday somewhere and do something. And I thought maybe we'd go alone, but Blair, who's been on the show, Blair Beacon, called Matt McConkey and Deanna and I was like, do you want to go to Tom Tom? I've got friends in town from Chicago at 5:30. Now, have I ever left my home with children at 5:30? No. But it all kind of worked out. We had a babysitter and Claire's like, but we can wait in line. I'm like, I'm not waiting in line at Tom Tom.
No.
I'm just not.
Shouldn't we get in?
Well, I said I've never one time called a place and been able to use my name, but I thought, but if I can't hear, I'll either have something to talk about. And I'll rip them, or they'll give me a table and I'll be friendly. Yeah. And they gave me a table for 10.
Wow.
And you know what? I had a great time.
Was Tom there?
So Max was there.
Running the show?
It looked like kind of, again, like a Truman Show thing, where it's like, I'm pretending to be the manager. He was counting a lot and looking around and then making mental notes of things.
Blowing out votives and then lighting them again.
Not even that. Just strolling up and down. It was almost like his shift was an hour of FaceTime or something. But I will say I had a great time. I mean,
how was the food?
If you're seeing one accessory, you're seeing 100.
Really?
Yeah. The food was great. It was actually
Dana
really good.
there without her bra?
No one was there except for Max, but the drinks were great. I mean, I'm an old lady. The music was very loud, but that's all I can say. I really had a great time.
And did you have a specialty cocktail that they worked?
We had
so
margaritas.
Hard on?
They were great. Blair had the major specialty sugary ones, and they were amazing. They were great. I had a nice time. Now, again, if they hadn't given me a table, I'd have other things to say.
And was it packed?
Packed.
To the gills.
Fucking packed. Lines down both sides of the sidewalk.
And there was 5:30 at night?
This is 5:30 on the dot when it opened. It was crazy. I really, really had a great time, for real.
Wow. Because you had invited me to go.
Yeah, last minute.
About 4:45, you're like, hey, this is what we're doing. I, of course, was on my way to the Ani DiFranco concert as my husband had given me Ani DiFranco tickets in Orange County.
Was it fun?
Here's the problem with a talented, prolific singer such as her is that, when they make so many songs, you don't know most of them. You have your 5 tops from around the time I was listening to her, which was the early aughts.
I'm having trouble calling up some in this moment.
I'm 30. All of her songs, and I love Ani DiFranco, but she's always I am this and you are that. She's like, you know what? Does anyone hear? She's like, I am a cupboard and I am empty. Like, it's just like she's always like a lot of similes, a lot of like, I think she's a poet. Again, all respect to Ani. I love her. Obviously, I went to her concert. I did run into some bitchless listeners there, which was exciting.
Oh, I'm sure there's a whole crew of Ani fans out there.
Crew of angry 90s riot girls that were there. And so we had a great time. We did leave early because I am also an older woman. And I was like, it's almost 10.
I'm surprised Ani didn't start at 5:30.
I mean,
knowing the crowd.
No. Well, we had to go down to Orange County, and it took a while. So I think the concert started at 8, and by 10, I was like,
no, thank you.
I'm exhausted.
No, thank you.
But I had a lovely evening in Orange County.
Okay, great.
This wonderful woman.
Wow, it sounds like you had a great time.
I did. Very romantic. I fell asleep as soon as I hit the bed.
Oh,
so it wasn't
Matt went with you?
Yeah. What? Yeah. I'm shocked.
I don't mean to be gendered. I just, for some reason, thought Erica, your friend who lives in Orange County, was
Matt,
obviously the one that went with you.
You know, it's really cute because when Matt and I first started dating, I actually did not find Ani myself. Matt was like, I think you'll like this singer-songwriter. And he introduced me to Ani DiFranco.
Wonderful.
So all these years later, he, for Valentine's Day, took me to see Ani DiFranco in concert. It was really so sweet. It was, and so yeah, the two of us, you know, weren't a ton of men there, but and he
God bless.
He was there and singing along to the 2 songs we knew, and and then we were happy because we looked up, like, you can go and look up the set list like the next day and see what they sang, and we didn't even know like any of the last songs. It was kind of a, you know, again, she's a talent.
Sounds like you had a horrible time.
Look, it wasn't great. For the 2 songs I knew and liked, I had a blast.
Not great. I have a podcast recommendation for you really quick that it comes from Andrew Rannells, which is called Origins.
Okay.
Anyone hearing about this?
No.
Origins, James Andrew Miller. He does the origins of TV shows, and he has a 3-part series, and everybody fucking participates except for Kim Cattrall on the making of Sex and the City. And Sarah Jessica Parker says what happened.
What?
It's really good. It's really good.
Wow.
I'm on part 1, but Andrew was like, you won't believe what's coming.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that's just a fun one. I'm only on part 1, but I'm loving it.
This is exciting. Origin, Sex and the City.
Origins.
I am in.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, anything Andrew Randall said, he's like, I've got a great podcast on, you know, like your own death.
Anything
I'd be
tells
like,
me.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anything he tells me.
He could say anything. He could make up a podcast. I'd be like, I love it.
I was working with him today, and he walked out of the room, and he like looked back at me, and I was like, that face is a little bright, shiny penny.
I mean, just
That's what he is.
sometimes I'm like, does he remember me?
Yeah, but he probably files us under like 100 girls I'm sort of friends with.
I mean, as you said, his bench is deep.
Yeah, very deep.
Very deep bench. And I'd like to think I'm on
There's
it.
one girl named Rachel that I've met who's lovely, and she seems to be with him a lot.
Really? I mean, on Instagram, I feel like
He's like, oh, Rachel and I were at this place for her
Now,
birthday.
how does he know Rachel?
I don't know. I think they go a ways back.
Sorry, my microphone just spilled. It was like the ghost of Andrew. It was like, don't talk about me.
It was like Rachel.
Rachel.
Danielle, let's bring out our guest.
Yeah, she's a bright light. Speaking of bright, shiny lights.
Yes, bright, shiny lights. This is a guest that I met through a friend that I worked with. And she said, my friend is a hilarious stand-up comedian. She loves the podcast and she loves Housewives, and she's got a lot that she has to offer. I immediately said yes. And we've just been sitting here watching New Jersey together, and she's got some hot takes. Very hot takes, not the least of which is she's attracted to Evan Goldschneider.
That is
Jackie's
the hottest. What is, he doesn't even go down on her. Wait, first, before we discuss this, we should introduce her.
Yes.
Sorry,
Hold on.
He doesn't go down on her.
Oh,
Sorry,
Lord.
guys. He would go down on you. You're really great.
Yeah.
Please welcome Kara Klenk.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thank you so much for
Hi.
having me.
Thanks for being here.
And yeah, to be fair, I'm talking specifically just to look at him. I think he's good looking. I'm not like his personality or like his sexual stuff, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just his face. I think he's kind of cute.
You kind of warm me up to him because
yeah. I mean, when you're looking at the rest of Jersey, he's
I
like
have to say, but I found new respect and attraction for Dr. Aiden, as you corrected me, because when I said Jennifer Aiden's husband, you're like, doctor. So
Dr. Bill
we
Aiden.
have to respect the professional that he is. So I appreciated you correcting me.
when Dr. Bill Aiden got so wasted on the boat, it's one of the best scenes I've ever seen.
Since Luann fell in a bush, it was really a fun ride.
yeah, 5 grown men had to carry him into the house.
They slammed his head onto the side of the car door.
Which we rewatched 3 times.
It was like Can't Buy Me Love, where he goes from like geek to chic and they like rumple his hair, and he was like actually looking cute.
Yes, I was attracted to him at that moment.
Very attracted to him, limp and
almost dead.
Dying of alcohol poisoning.
That's how I like him.
That's
my
why I
man.
like Dr. Aiden. You said something so funny. Will you tell everyone when what other patients might be thinking when they?
Well, when they were taking his body out of the car, I was like, imagine you're his patient. Like, imagine like the next day, you're like, that guy's supposed to staple my stomach next week. Like, I would be nervous.
I would be excited. I'd be like, I'm going to have a fun ride at that staple.
You're like, I've been severely burned.
Yeah.
And I got Dr. A.
It'd be a fun time.
Do you think he did Jennifer's lipo?
For
do you
sure.
think do you think he specifically goes in and does it?
For sure.
Really?
You mean the lipo on her legs?
Like,
how do we know? Did she have that? She
yeah.
said?
She like said at the beginning of the season that she's so much thinner second season than she was her first season.
Yes, she is.
And she said that she got a ton of lipo.
He's definitely going.
So I was
there.
like, is it her? Like, because like my mom's a doctor, but she like never treated me. Like she's a pediatrician,
right.
you know. Like, so can he go in there and like lipo is so like violent to your body. So like, can you just imagine like your wife being on the table and you're just like, let's go, and you just start scraping fat out.
You're like, let's get my fat ass wife's fat out. It's so shocking. It's like the mother of my children's fucking cut open on my table so she can look better for a reality show.
Don't you think he's creating the woman of his dreams?
Danielle, stop.
Like
he
building her
needs
out of
to
wax?
fix her fucking dumb face.
He needs-
She just always looks
all
like
Casey kept saying the entire episode. What a dumb face.
her face, her mouth is just always open. So dumb. She looks so dumb.
It doesn't. She is dumb. So that
I know,
help.
but her face also looks very dumb. The mouth always ajar, always agape.
Her and Teresa and her always like look like they're saying, "Huh," right? Like that's
Teresa, you can almost like hear wheels like creaking up there. You know, you can hear it.
And then you hear them just grind to a halt for a while.
When she's like, how do I pronounce cumin again? Oh, it's coming. It's definitely coming.
They'll cut to her and she truly, her eyes are open, but I'm like, oh, she's asleep. There's nothing going on.
Both of them, or who are we speaking of?
Teresa.
Yes.
Jen's following. When Jen was like, excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom.
We all were like, what's going to happen? We all literally were like, that was too specific. And like the whole scene grind to a halt. And we were like, where's she going with this bathroom thing?
Only to come back with a long shirt that said, sorry, not sorry.
I was like, this is...
Sorry, not sorry is really not sorry, not sorry. It's done.
Yeah, we did it.
It trickled right down to the Jersey Shore. That
As
phrase.
every fashion statement does. It's like, oh, we'll hit everywhere, including like parts of Eastern Europe, and then come around and swing to New Jersey. Like it doesn't. Everything takes a while to hit there.
Yeah, Jennifer's like just so performative to me. It's like before she got cast, she like got a writer's room together and was like, let's spitball some ideas. Like,
I think these are
what
Jennifer's
could I
jokes.
do? Like, I'm going to do a roast. I know you guys think she's a very talented comedian.
Like she's a chameleon.
She's like, I'm going to do a roast.
What of it?
I've got some cool shirts I can wear. My sorry, not sorry shirt. Like, I don't know.
Don't forget her exit lines when she yelled.
You look
to
like
Mark.
Fred Flintstone.
No, Fred Flintstone called. He wants his chest back.
Guys, she's the funniest one of the housewives. Besides, New Jersey. Besides Joe Gorga, she's the funniest housewife on Jersey.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Margaret can be funny
true.
sometimes, but I would say, you're probably right.
You noticed something about Margaret's mouth. And I love
I don't know.
I
think you do
Listeners, call in if you can agree with me.
On our hotline?
Yeah, call the hotline because I just feel like, and I've talked to some friends about this, I feel like they've seen it. Like, I don't know, you can't see me, so I can't even illustrate it, but it's like her bottom jaw is like many times pushed out when she's ready to attack someone. And it's like off center, almost like, do you guys ever see Crybaby? The movie Crybaby with Johnny Depp? You know, Hatchet Face?
Yes.
How her jaw just kind of goes the other way from her top jaw. I don't know. I feel that's happening with Margaret, and she has like a secret TMJ problem or something's going on.
And you said she has to kind of overcome it to yell at someone.
Yeah. It's always like, Teresa, like it's always like, I don't know.
She does. She has a lot of movement to
There's
say.
so much going on in her mouth.
Like when one of us would just say like, hi, how are you? It takes more from her mouth.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like maybe her facelift, like the jaw didn't go back on its hinges correctly.
Yeah, I think it could be a facelift thing. I think it could be like, you know, when people sometimes get veneers and they like have to practice like talking in them. Like it could be like a tooth thing, a teeth thing. Oh yeah. Remember when Hillary Duff got them?
What?
Hillary Duff like got veneers and then the next day like went on Leno and was like like she like couldn't speak.
Allegedly.
It's like pretty famous. Oh, yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Don't
We'll take
come
the
for me, Hillary.
opportunity to quickly address that Brian Moylan made some comments the last show that, alleged comments. And, we were blessed to be in Us Weekly and on page six. And
Look,
that
no
felt
tagging,
great.
guys, but still blessed to be in the.
I love that the people that listened to that were like, no tagging, but I'll print it in the publications I work for.
Yeah.
However,
We never stand by any comment we make. We have no research.
I just don't want anyone to come after me, but I do think it's because we don't stand by it. We're saying neither.
We say it's true based on no information.
And you didn't really have the information. Someone else brought it to your platform.
Thank you, Kara. What can I do?
Yeah,
It's like
you're
this
just
TMJ thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
you said that.
You said that, Kara.
Okay.
We knew before this. These views are not our own. It's like all the views are our own.
Oh, these are our own. They're just not
all we have is our views.
They're not based in any truth, and we stand by each and every one.
They did issue a retraction,
Yes.
Danielle.
Did they?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So, who can say? But I did get a text that I think is important to read from Vanessa
Breaking
Bayer.
news. Boots on the ground.
This text came to Vanessa Bayer and our friend Jessie Klein, wonderful writer. And Vanessa says, we are in a parking lot with PK and Jessie doesn't even care.
Which is the biggest. How dare she?
I said, Jessie, no, understand what you were seeing in all caps. Vanessa said, I thought he was living in a guest house in England. So imagine my shock and utter disbelief when there he was in a parking structure in Sherman Oaks.
Wow. Well, good to know.
I said, can I report this? She said, of course. So that's what we have. It's like Brian had his information. We have this. He's in a parking structure in Sherman Oaks.
But I said, just because he was in a carriage house in London last week doesn't mean he can't be back in Sherman Oaks.
And I say,
having time with Jaggy and Phoenix.
And I say, what's more depressing? Being away from his wife in a carriage house in London or being in a parking garage in Sherman Oaks?
Well, you would know.
I do live a hop, skip, and a jump from Sherman Oaks in the
lovely neighborhood,
in
lovely
the
neighborhood.
City.
I will say, I met a woman. I didn't want to tell you this, but now we're here. A very funny woman lives in the Valley, and she said she lives on the wrong side of Ventura. I don't know what that is.
Yes, that's not my side.
Okay. And she said she wanted her and her husband to put on their like return address labels, like, oh God, we almost made it.
Oh.
And then their address. Like they did try, but they just couldn't. They almost made it somewhere else.
Well, I remember when I first moved to the Valley and I didn't know anything about Los Angeles or anything. And I had a manager at the time. We've since parted ways, but
As you went over the hill.
he said, and he was like, what's your phone number? And I was like, I gave him my zip code and I was like 818, which is the Valley. And he was like, oh God, we got to get you a job so you can get out of the Valley. I was like, oh God, wow.
Now, did you part ways because he never got you that job?
No.
Okay.
We parted ways because I don't even remember. I think he was fired.
By you?
No, by the company.
Oh.
And then I parted way with the company after that because they didn't give me jobs.
I really want to tell that story. I'm sure we can. About another manager you had back in way back in the day. And what happened that precipitated the end when he took a call from someone.
Oh, one of my shows, I had a manager at the time. And can we tell this story?
Yeah.
I had a manager and I was on a show at the time. And I had like a part on the show and I was really excited.
Big part.
And we had done a few episodes. And he was like, so he calls me. It's like,
and hold on, just so you know, you've been like debating, do I leave this person? Like, is he behind me? And we're like, I'm sure he loves you so much, Danielle.
Yes.
Like, and you're on a big part.
Yeah, it was a big part on a show. And he was like, I was like, I don't know. And so he calls me. He's like, so I have some bad news about this show. And I was like, oh God, what is it? He's like, oop, hold please. I got Judd Apatow on the phone. I got to call you back. And I was like,
Got Judd Apatow on the phone.
what?
Wow.
So I did not know what this news was.
Yeah.
And he had to get off the phone and talk to Judd Apatow. And I was in shock. I was truly in shock.
And when he called back.
And when he called back, he's like, oh, the show's been canceled. But he didn't even call me back right away. I literally, he hung up with me. And then I was like, what has just happened? And I'm calling. I'm like,
yeah, this is my entire
him.
income
I'm like,
stream.
This is my, this is my life. This is my career.
Monsters.
And I, and then I,
That's wild.
Yes, but I've since gone through many managers and many people in my life and been treated worse or better. But that was a tough one.
That was the tough one.
That was the tough one. And then
Are you happy with your representation, Kara?
Currently, yes. I have a new manager as of like the last few months.
Congratulations.
Wonderful. Because Kara, should say, this is the appropriate time, has written on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes, I wrote on this season that is premiering February 28th.
Oh,
tune in, everybody.
This is so exciting.
Yeah.
Tell us everything.
I think it's going to be a great season. You guys are fans? Do you have you?
Yes, but we're not fans. We dabble.
We dabble.
It's I think there's a lot of really great queens that are and there's there's a lot of fun stuff. I'm like, I can't say, I'll get in trouble. I can't say anything
but you can just tell us we're in for
big,
some.
but you're in for a great season.
Because anything you say here could make it to major publications.
Publications.
True. And I worked on All Stars 5, which is I think going to air sometime after season 12. I mean, it will. And it is chock full of classic fun queens from, days of old.
Days of old.
Yeah.
Wow. What a great job.
Yeah, it was very fun. I'm sorry. And it was very fun. RuPaul is a joy to watch.
Did you get any interaction with Ru?
We've had 2 conversations.
2 more than I've had.
Not a ton of FaceTime, but when he saw me. I was working with him on set one day, and he was like, "How do I know you?" And I was like, "I've been here all summer." And I was like, and
he's like, "Hold, please, Judd Apatow's calling."
Guys, I will say this. I would get off the phone with myself if Judd Apatow called.
We all
I
would.
want everybody to know where I stand on that as well.
Yeah. But he just said, I know, how do I know you? And I was like, well, I work on the show. And he's like, no, I feel like I know you from outside of the
stand-up.
show. And I was like, oh, well, I am a stand-up comedian, but there's no way you've seen me do stand-up.
Why not?
I just don't think there's a way that I haven't done late night yet. And so I don't really think there's a way RuPaul was at Bar Lubitsch in West Hollywood, checking me out. You know what I mean?
You never know.
Or, yeah.
You don't know when your next discovery is coming.
You don't. You sure don't. No, I've had some.
In this city of dreams, anything's possible. Sorry. That's what I tell young girls when they come in the city and I'm trying to get something from them.
But Drag Race was fun, but it's no Housewives. But my friend that I worked with on Drag Race is a producer on New York and sometimes does interviews with the OC women. And he gave me a lot of fun little tidbits.
Anything you can share?
Sure.
He was basically just telling me that Luann makes things really difficult for everybody.
Because of just makes filming difficult and everything.
Yeah. But
I was going to say why, but
he
it's
said that he likes her. He's like, I like her. I've known her for a long time and I like her. And actually in the season, I heard him say her name at one point. He was like, I don't want to say his name, but she was like, can I get a car? Can I get a car, Max, or whatever? That's not his name. And I just texted him. I was like, Luann just was ordering you around on the show. But he was saying I like her, but she just makes everything very difficult. But I'd also heard separately that Carol made things really hard for everybody.
Radziwill?
Yeah, that Carol's a real pain in the dick. Yeah.
That's what I heard.
You know what?
Yeah.
That all makes sense.
And when she got fired, someone that I know that's close to Andy was like, she keeps saying she quit. She got fired.
No one has quit except for Bethany.
Yeah.
No one has quit.
Do you think
Andy
Heather
should wear that
Heather
shirt.
Quit? Heather Thompson? Because she was like, I need to focus on yummy tummy.
No, she does not.
No, Heather was fired and Dubrow was fired.
Yeah,
I know that for a fact.
Everyone has been fired except for Bethany Frankel. Speaking of, she has a new show I saw coming out. Is it like a Shark Tank?
I don't know.
Does it involve her flipping houses with Friedrich? Because I passed.
No, that show is a big fat pass. But it's something else because I know a woman that she tried to get on it.
I believe it's like a Shark
It's
Tank.
the HBO Max competition series. The contestants get a chance to work as part of the Skinny Girl Founders executive team.
No, not interesting.
So it's like The Apprentice. She's like following in Trump's footsteps.
It's called The Big Shot with Bethany.
That's how she started, though. She started on that Martha Stewart, not Apprentice, but that Martha Stewart. It was like kind of a follow-up where you can get in your cooking empire or whatever. That's how she started. That was her first, I think, brush with reality TV.
Oh, I thought her first thing was she was on The Apprentice.
No, she was on.
Damn.
She was on like a Martha Stewart thing.
I gotta get deeper into her
Guys,
Wikipedia.
deep dive.
Now look, it's on HBO Max, and that's where I met you, Kara, doing a show for that. That
I had
is
my
not
baby
going
on. I had my baby on set.
it's not going forward. Mine,
R.I.P.
but it seems the big
that was
shot
only
with
a pilot?
Bethany. Yeah, big shot
I'm
with
sorry
Bethany.
to hear
Is
that.
you know what? Look,
Guys,
Look,
this business,
this
it give
business
it
is hard.
and it take it.
Yeah.
everyone's like, I'm listening to this somewhere else. I don't care
Now, when
about
they
your
called
business.
to tell you that the pilot was not going forward,
Yes.
did anyone call and ring in?
No, but I'm so used to things not going forward. My sons were watching Daniel Tiger, and I literally like turned my head. I'm like, hello. They're like, it's not going forward. I was like, uh-huh. I put the phone down and turned back to Daniel Tiger. Like, I'm just dead inside. I was like, uh-huh, great. It was like, yeah.
Yeah,
totally
of
fine.
course it's not.
Not because I didn't care. It's just like, I don't care anymore, actually.
We
can't care.
Yeah, no.
We can't get our heart broken so many times.
But who has had their heart broken on New Jersey? Let's get
Great
back.
transition.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh.
You're welcome. Besides Jackie's insane salad and the fact that Melissa was wearing high heels to play
And the
mini
fact
golf.
that on this beach vacation, everyone had to share one chair, which I
That
found.
was-
Yeah.
so
They were on like a
depressing.
large papasan together or something, like 10 people.
And all had to share like one standing table.
Yeah.
It just felt like, where are we? Where is our budget for the show?
I
Yeah.
don't think
You guys couldn't get a corner of the deck, like with several
Couldn't
chairs
you rent out
together.
some of the restaurant? They had like one like snatch of
But
beach.
it's like we're not in Miami. We're not with the new. Like this is what we're gonna
Not
get, and
with
we're not gonna
Atlanta.
get
We're
upset.
not with, it's
Yeah.
like Jersey knows its place is what that told me.
I definitely feel like they were like, yeah, we're gonna show you the Jersey Shore. Like you're not gonna see anything.
that you wouldn't see if
More
you were
than
at
that.
the Jersey. Like we're
Yeah.
giving you the tip top.
Like we're gonna give it to you.
And this is just like one little couch.
So the fights between Margaret and Jen, I feel like, so I love Margaret. I think we all do. But I will say, I feel like she gets away with a lot because she seems logical and sensical, but she will say some insane things. Like I thought it was crazy when she immediately said to Teresa, like, yeah, we both been through things with our legal things. And then she was like, you've never worked a day in your life. Jen, say what you will. She has a million kids. Like she works fucking so hard.
Yes, she's a stay-at-home mom, which is
The hardest
honestly
job in the
hardest.
world.
And like, have you seen 3 seconds of footage of those children? Like, they're not like sitting reading books.
No.
Like, they're murdering each other with Nerf guns and
I
like
was-
chugging Dr. Pepper.
I
Yeah.
was home with my child for, I want to say 4 weeks. And I was like, this is harder than anything I've ever done ever.
It's so hard.
So Margaret is an idiot and a dumbass for saying that. Is Jennifer a spoiled little brat? Yes, but that has nothing to do with the fact that her being a stay-at-home
Margaret
mom.
has such a chip about someone marrying someone rich because Joe like can't finish their garage and like
Yeah.
but that's her issue and I feel
Yeah.
like I can't believe no one called her on it. She's just always like, you married rich. She's so pissed at that.
Yeah.
I am too.
Yeah.
Are you? But that's what our show is. Like, what are we
What do
watching?
you mean?
All these people
Right.
married rich.
Yeah, but I think Margaret's kind of like I'm the one working. Although
She's the self-made.
where are we getting this money from with Margaret?
From
And how
her.
much is there? Really?
Well, she is selling off half of her wide Jersey lot
Right.
where there's like a dirty swimming pool.
Which what? Someone's gonna buy that lot and like just be her neighbor right there
In the back
Like,
of her
yeah,
house?
It
It's
seems
a
so
strange lot.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that her
Guys.
fashion empire is anything. What?
Guys,
Wow.
this can't be right. So now I'm like, the celebrity net worth thing is. Why don't you take a little guess?
Okay. I'm gonna say that website says that her net worth is like 5 million or something.
Okay.
I'm going to say that website says her net worth is 20 million.
Guys, it says her net worth is 50 million.
No,
What?
that
no
website is
way.
Okay.
My
That
guess is
is-
correct, and a 0 is in there by accident. That's not. That can't be.
That's insane.
Okay.
She
Now
would
it's
be-
putting my net worth
What?
at
What's-
$2 million.
What's it putting my net worth at?
Yeah,
Not
like, put me
registered.
in.
Okay.
It's like she's got
Let's find someone else. Who
$17,000.
else do we feel like we have a handle on their net worth?
I kind of feel like I have a handle on Bethany's net worth, right?
She's worth like 50 million. She's worth
Yeah.
50 million.
Yeah, because
Okay,
that
so
deal
but at
with
least
Jose
it'll give us an
Cuervo was,
idea.
like,
Yeah.
125 and
I
like,
bet they'll say Bethany's worth like 25 million.
Okay. Sorry.
Then how can Margaret be 50?
She's not. That's an
crazy.
insane number.
Bethany Frankel has an estimated net worth of $25 million.
How
You're
can
exactly
it be?
right,
How
Danielle.
can it be less than Margaret? Who
I don't know, Danielle.
You cannot tell me that her like Canal Street stuff that she
That
sells
stuff.
that is Vineyard Vine knockoff is
she
pulling
wishes
in.
it were Vineyard
Careful,
Vines.
Kara, careful.
Allegedly,
Lawsuit.
a Vineyard Vine knockoff.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
She wishes.
Okay, I'm going to look up Danielle Staub
Doesn't she
because I just want
sell,
to see
like,
if they go
makeup
low.
bags?
Danielle Staub was worth $17 and like a steal of lip gloss. Come on.
1 million. I mean,
That
I'm proud
feels
to be
right.
above Danielle. But this is what's troubling. Is like they're saying Danielle's 1. Like that's probably right.
All
But
said and
Margaret
done.
at 50 when she's always like, I'm worried about like I got to sell that lot.
She's got to sell the back of her house.
But also, like, I don't even know that Danielle Staub could be worth $1 million because, like, you're talking about assets, you're talking about everything they own. She's like living in Marty's house squatting. Like, she doesn't even own a home, I don't think.
no, I
You know,
agree.
and then she's friend of, so she's probably not even getting like
No, she's
10K
not-
an
no,
episode.
no
like,
way.
you know,
And she spent what she did.
I'm really
make.
digging into the financials.
We
so
always
here's
do.
the very, very like legalese that I found online on Celebrity Net Worth. Margaret Joseph, her company is pretty successful and has been sold in various places such as Nordstrom Rack and Walmart. Okay, I didn't know that.
Walmart.
I feel like she just sells like zipper makeup bags. Is that
I
like all I've ever
know.
like when
But
I
Oh.
What?
Someone at this table's net worth is more than Bill Aiden's, and that's me. Dr. Bill Aiden has a net worth of $1.5 million. Okay, I don't know what's happening anymore.
that see
That
that seems
house-
impossible to me because that house itself has got to be like a few
Are they
$1 million
considering
house,
all
right?
assets?
Have they counted all the bathrooms?
Guys,
They have 16 bathrooms.
I don't know
Is
anymore.
it her money though? Maybe it's not his money. Maybe it comes from her family. Is that what they're telling us?
And then that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guess.
Because this could be its own podcast.
Lisa Vanderpump is worth like it's going to say 50 million
Okay. And what do you think?
Between
or 20.
I would have said Bethany 50. So I'm
That's
going to
what
say more. I'm going to curb it to like 20.
75.
Whoa.
Whoa.
And she makes $500,000 per season.
Of what?
Well, did
Real
of
Housewives or
VPR?
Vanderpump?
It doesn't say. I bet both.
Yeah.
That's not nothing.
Well, she's a producer on Vanderpump, I believe.
Yeah, so she gets more. Yeah.
Guys, can we? I know we keep switching around, but one of my favorite moments of the entire, there are two favorite moments of the entire Jersey. One is that waiter at the steakhouse was like, "All right," the woman was like,
Everybody
"We
listen
did what we
up."
got." It was in all the waiters in New Jersey. All ladies were like, "All right, everybody!" Oh, they were all like Vinny Barbarino. It was so crazy. I loved it. And then my other favorite moment was when Dolores, who has never looked more beautiful than on this whole trip, like windswept,
Yes.
gorgeous, not a lot of makeup, is that when she goes, what you do? When she was talking
What
about,
did you do to
what
him?
you do to him?
Yeah.
when Dr. Bill was carried through.
That was fun.
Yeah. But wait, have we discussed yet? You could suck a beer bottle down, but you can't suck your husband's dick.
That was
Such an aggressive thing to yell at a dinner.
Such an aggressive thing. And Dr. Bill doesn't even blink an eye.
No.
He's
Well,
so
I don't think
used
he
to
can.
this.
I think
The
those eyes are
Botox.
pinned. Those eyes are pinned
You're
open.
right. They are pinned open.
they are. The
That
only-
was such an insane thing to yell. At first, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of fun." Jackie's doing this. She's like, "Let's have a beer and be fun."
Yeah, she's definitely trying to like flex her fun girl. Thing
yeah. She was
this
like,
whole
guys,
trip.
you can put the ball through my boobs, but I
Yeah.
was like, you don't suck dick. Well, you're not fun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You will not.
But and I mean that, you know, women dick, lady dick, man dick, like we ought to all be going down there. Or what are we doing with our lives?
Yeah.
Some
Sorry.
people don't like it.
I know some people don't like it, but like you don't have to like it to do it, as we found out in most of our
I think
sexual
you do.
situations.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's
As we
right.
found out in most of our sex lives at this point, you don't have to like it to do it.
Danielle. Ooh.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Is that how Matt feels about doing your pubes?
Exactly. If my husband could go down in my like wild bush, then you guys can all suck each other's nethers. Like, what are we doing here? Get down and get in and then get out. Get in and get out. Find your way. Guys.
Wait, I'll say something bad. Do you think it has something to do with her eating issue that she won't do that? Okay, cut that out.
No, why would we cut that out? That's an important point. Because
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if
semen.
semen is too
It's
caloric.
protein. It's not a carb. Sorry.
She's like, I can't do that. Guys.
He won't
I
go
want to
down
hear
on
what
her
Andy.
either.
Yeah, he won't go down on her either because I think she's also that possibly also has to do with some body issues. Perhaps. We'll never know.
upsetting.
They seem very close.
And again,
fine.
I know I'm
Like,
going to get
allegedly
tweets from people that are like, I don't go down and that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, yes, it does.
Look.
Standing by it.
Get down there.
I'm not gonna get specific, but not everybody does everything.
Casey and I know too much about each other.
Not everybody does everything. Everyone.
Some of us do everything.
Yeah, Danielle, I know you're a fucking freight train.
Woohoo!
You are
Yes.
open for business.
Open for
Every
biz.
hole.
Oh my God.
Sorry,
I
Kara.
couldn't hear it with my
Oh, no.
ear.
Kara, I'm sorry. Yeah, when Jennifer
apologize
yelled
to
that,
me.
it was so insane.
Yeah.
And then I feel like Jackie just didn't really address it. Like
No.
nothing.
I thought that was what the rest of the episode was going to be about. And then
Yeah.
it was about Margaret again, which I found disappointing. I wanted it to be about
Well,
that
then
a
they.
little bit.
Well, what was weird was that the Gorgas and Jennifer and her husband and Evan left with Margaret because they were like,
There's only one
they
car.
drove. We're like, there are no Ubers in the Jersey Shore. Like, you don't have to leave dinner.
That's where
So
everyone-
I kind of thought that was people that was like them reacting to it. That was like, we think we're gonna call it a night. Like, that was
Yeah,
really
that was-
gross.
That
you
was
said
for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
It was weird.
So it was weird that nobody reacted, but I thought that the leaving was their reaction, kind of.
I agree.
You know?
I also was appreciative that Joe Gorga kind of said to Dolores and Frank, like, what are you guys fucking doing?
Yeah,
Where's your
Joe
boyfriend?
Gorga
Why
does
don't you
call
get back
shit out."
together? Get back together.
I love
And then
Joe
I
Gorga.
appreciate that Frank was just in a testimony. He was like, I'd love to get back together with Dolores, but I can't count on myself not to cheat on her.
Yeah.
It's like you're 70.
He's like, I'd love to, but I don't know that I can.
How does he still have testosterone left in his body with all the steroids that he is on? For
I bet he
sure.
has
Yeah.
like Joe Gorga's one sperm.
He is less. Joe Gorga has one sperm in his body. It is.
He's supposed to have 1 million. He has 1.
He's one. They're like, well,
One.
usually we like to see 27 million,
Yeah.
about as much as Bethany has money of, but you have 3. It
I
was.
think it was 2.
It was
it 2
so
or 3?
few that it was.
I think it
just-
was 3, and it was definitely supposed to be multiple millions.
Multiple millions if you have 3.
Yeah.
You have 3. It was just look. We all have our issues.
I loved seeing that. That was like my favorite
It was
scene.
just
I thought
a
it was
shock to
so
the
It
funny.
system.
was such a great scene.
I was like, just this man who's like, I'm like, I gotta go pound my wife. I'm such a man. And then he gets this call that's like, hey, you're like, all of your swimmers have committed suicide.
Yes.
3 are hanging on.
He
like-
seemed to take it in stride.
Sure.
Because he's such a like, I'm all about like literally in this episode he said Teresa's like, I gotta go upstairs and like bang my wife. It's
to
like,
his sister.
To his
She's like, all right,
he said-
Joey.
He said attack
you
my
do
wife.
you. He's got, I gotta attack my wife. And it's like, but so a man like that, you would think he'd be like, I have 1 million sperm.
Yeah.
But he was just like, okay, maybe I drink too much coffee. It was so
that was like the problem.
strange.
I'm on a supplement.
Yeah, he's like, I'm on a supplement. It'll be fine next time.
It was like, yeah, it was like his like muscle milk was making him not produce the other milk.
Essentially.
Yeah.
His other milk.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah, sorry, that was gross.
No. Before we wrap up Jersey, I do think what's coming for us is great because we had Melissa sit down with Danielle Staub, and I was saying to you guys, like, she genuinely makes a feeling of danger in my body when I see Danielle. And then she dropped the bomb. You know, Melissa was like, why did you pull Margaret's hair? That makes you a violent person. And she's like, I was provoked.
I was influenced.
I was influenced.
And Melissa's whole thing was like, you can't be around Teresa because if Teresa's around you when something violent happens, like she could get in trouble because like she could go back to jail. She's basically on like probation or whatever. And so then to find out.
I gasped at the scenes from the next.
Yes. And then they flipped back and showed us Teresa saying like, do it, do it, do it, do
Gem
it, do
that
it.
Bravo tucked far away.
They tucked under their little
Tucked
hats.
into their little hats.
So
to
good.
bring out at a later
It's like
date.
the- I
nasty
mean-
little nasties, you Bravo.
When the editor saw that, they dragged it to a special file and said for later. It was so good.
But it was, again, Emmy Award winning.
Why do you think Teresa did want her to do that? Because she just wanted
She does not like Margaret. Margaret said something that pissed her off a long time ago, and she is using Danielle because any chance she gets to knock Margaret down, she does it.
That's right.
So
Why did the guy that owns the store say pull her hair?
Steve.
Is he a reality show producer?
no, I just think he wanted it was a weird thing. I mean, she
So
did go up to
weird.
him afterwards, after the whole fight, and she was like, "I'll see you later," and kisses his cheek. It was so strange.
It is weird though. It's like we are mad at Danielle, but it's like, but Margaret did throw water or wine in her face. Like that's not nothing. It will provoke
and it's
someone.
the second beverage that she's thrown at her.
Yes.
But I think people are like, there's a difference between passive, a liquid that hits you versus grabbing, putting hands. That's, I mean,
I don't think you could be sued for assault for throwing water or wine.
Okay, but when someone does that to a woman who's a powder keg, I do think there's some need to up an ante when someone is coming at you, and she did.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know that I wouldn't have reacted the same exact way. I see a red hot rage.
I know you don't trust yourself, and I wouldn't
don't.
trust you.
No, I wouldn't, especially if I had Teresa chirping in my ear.
Yeah. And hair pulling is just reminds me of childhood when you would get mad at a sibling or something and just
it was really bad
grab
how
hair.
she yanked her head back.
Yeah,
that
she,
I would not have
whipped it
done.
back,
I would have just given it a little yank.
No,
Yeah.
I do believe you would have.
Oh, absolutely.
But
And the scenes
yanked
from
it.
next week really were chilling and thrilling when Teresa was like, all right, I'll see you guys later. And then threw a glass of wine right into Dolores's face.
And then knocked over all the cups.
Yeah.
Dolores's face, her dearest companion.
I mean,
Oh,
guys,
how
I'm
they turn.
excited. But then she and her daughters go to Italy, and that looks sad, all adorned in Gucci sweatshirts.
Yeah.
All in Gucci to see Thin Joe.
I don't enjoy Thin Joe.
No.
Tough to see.
He's like, should we just call it now?
I'm like,
So watching him swirling that red wine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
He's going to gain that weight back from prison in 2 minutes.
Oh, I think you're so right.
Yeah.
I think he probably has.
oh yeah, especially all that
Already,
pasta in
yeah.
Italy.
Yeah.
I will say this: if you're in Italy, you're eating very fresh ingredients, and you probably lose weight in
Sure.
Italy.
Yeah, but I think he drinks his weight.
Yeah.
That man.
That's
Yes.
true. We did see
You know?
pictures of him the other week cavorting in Mexico
With 5 women just bopping on a stick.
Wait, so he's allowed? Oh, yeah, he's allowed to go to Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
yeah, he was in Mexico.
Oh, I thought he was in Italy.
No, that was
didn't
Mexico.
line up for me. I'm like, wow, lots going on in Italy.
Yeah.
No, he
In
was
my
in
mother
Mexico.
country.
He's allowed to travel, just not to the U.S.
Yeah.
because he could be put in prison here.
Sure.
But yeah,
Oh.
Let's take a break, guys.
we're back with Vanderpump.
Vanderpump Rules. The opening, someone said this, watching the opening song, it is like looking at a beautiful painting. It's like you see something different every time.
I've paused it many times.
I'm always trying to pause it at the end and count,
who's in it.
who's in it, just to get
Yeah.
ahead. And every single time I've paused it, there are numbers 10 more. Than
Yeah, I'm
the
always
last
like,
time.
Lisa's French partner in the business is in it.
She's in there now.
Yeah, like Guillermo's in it.
yes.
No.
They're in there back,
Max,
but
other
they're in
Max,
there.
son Max.
Oh, see, when you said that you went to Tom Tom and saw Max, I immediately went to Max Vanderpump. Max
No,
Todd.
he works. He's a busboy.
I've seen him at Sir.
So have we.
Yeah.
So have we all.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
he gets a day off.
God bless him. She works him to the bone. She's
the
always like, I'm picking
bone.
Pandy up to go, on an
Andy gets to
extravagant
run
trip.
the corporate.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pandy's always like, we're doing a tour for Vanderpump Beaujolais or whatever it is.
And there's Max scraping my fucking meatballs off my face. God bless him. He's the only person I have respect for in this entire
Oh,
franchise.
he works like a dog.
And then she goes and hires Max with no personality. I don't care for this new
Oh,
Max.
I don't care
It's
for
horrible.
him at
When him
all.
and Dana talk about when they talk about their relationship, they're like, I mean, it's very clear to everyone how attracted we are to each other and how great we are together. And it's like, I don't see that. You guys are both. It's like watching two candlesticks. I don't see it.
I've never seen one moment
I
of
don't see a
spark.
spark at
There is
all between
nothing.
you. Yeah,
There is nothing.
And he's like, of course, she's funnier than me. I'm like, I've never seen one of you
Yeah.
be funny. I've never even seen them together.
No.
Maybe once. One
This
scene?
episode, they were drinking a bottle of wine, and he
Did
was,
they touch each other
watching.
once?
They barely touched.
No.
There's just nothing, and they're like, It's so clear. I mean,
honestly,
how hot we are for each
I
other.
saw a lot more between her and Ariana.
I saw a lot more between Sheena Shea and him. Honestly.
I thought you were going to say Sheena and her.
Also them.
Yes, that too.
Sheena,
You're right. I see Sheen a lot more with Sheena. And
yes, they have nothing. And can I say, when Dana comes out as bisexual, I've never been so like, oh, you're so sweaty and hungry for something, some label to call yourself.
I agree.
Something that makes you special and different and cool or whatever, that you... I was just like,
I bet that the producers were like, what was the name of that girl you kissed when you were 13? And she was like, she died. You can't get in touch with her. Like, she's dead. Like, there's just like,
she died.
I think she made that
up. Oh, for sure. Or like, just like, who didn't kiss someone when they were 13? And they're like, let's practice kissing boys. She's like, and I knew there was something. It's like.
And then she's like, and I'm with Max now.
I was like, you are sweaty and thirsty, and I don't buy this.
You really don't like Dana.
I do not like Dana.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think she's trying every reality TV angle, and I can feel
think she's the same. I get the same feeling from Jennifer from Dana. It's like Dana feels like
Jennifer
she came
has a
with
pop
things.
To me.
Yes. Just in terms of the performativeness, like I feel like she's got a list of shit that she's like, "This is my quip," and it's just all
Jennifer has made me laugh more than
Dana.
And how did you feel as a stand-up, seeing the two stand-ups on Vanderpump? Standing up together for their bisexuality, Ariana and Dana.
Yes, I do know Ariana comedy means a lot to her. And I thought Dana, when I watched it, I was like, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but you're like an open micer. Like that's like, you're doing a bringer and your friends all came and you did 5 minutes of like, here's a little bit about me. Like it just wasn't breaking any ground for me.
Yeah, sure.
But also I have met Ariana and Tom 2 times in the space of 2 days.
Wow.
So the second time it was
Were you stalking?
Hey,
is this when you were stalking them?
No. And she is really nice and normal and spent most of the time that I was around her like telling Tom to like relax and like leave her alone.
Can I say something? Ariana is without a doubt the best human on that show. And everyone says that, Brittany. She's this great person. We got to treat her with kids' gloves. Everybody loves Brittany.
Brittany.
I don't think Brittany is such a great fucking person.
I've been
And I think Ariana, I always say her name wrong because I have a friend named Ariane, but is a good person.
Yeah.
And that is why she is struggling on the show because everybody else is a piece of shit, including her boyfriend.
Brittany's a piece of shit and she's simple as fuck.
Yeah.
She's like, he made one comment.
It's like, no, he didn't.
My pastor made one comment.
Yeah. And it's like, and you guys knew about it and you just didn't feel like dealing with it, which, whatever.
And why is Lala and everybody jumping to her defense? It's like, why can't Sandoval just like ask one question about it?
That's what I'm talking about. Everyone,
they're so embarrassed. But I don't agree with Sandoval's like, it's dangerous to be part of a friend group when you can't ask a question. Like, they're all so
he was being
stupid.
shitty too. I also think that he brought that out and made it a thing because it was becoming a thing online, not because he cared so much, because if he did care so much, he would have said, hey, Jax, here's this shit online. You should tap into this. He wouldn't wait for it and then pounce. But I do think Ariana did care about it, was saying stuff about it, and nobody listened to her. And she, from that exactly, where she was just like
she just smelled.
So I do believe she was the one that wasn't doing this as some sort of like, I gotcha. She was like, I feel strongly about this. I think this is disgusting. Nobody cared. Then it got out in social media and became a thing, and that's when everybody else jumped on it.
And like Tom was just asking Jax off to the side. I know it is like a TV show, so they're on camera, but he's the one that brought it to his girlfriend or fiance and made her more upset. Like Jax brought it over to her. Didn't you think?
Well, yeah, but I think that she knew about this ahead of time.
Sure, but in terms of Brittany yelling "fuck off" Sandoval 12 times,
it wasn't that.
Jax
it's just
brought
like it's a storyline, and he was just kind of like, "What's going on?"
Yes.
Like, I just like that Jax was like, "I'm fine with anyone wants to be like. If you want to be a bigot, great. Just don't put it on social media."
It's like, what does it have to do with me?
I thought he was going to be like, just don't fucking talk to me ever. He's like, please don't embarrass me on social media.
He showed us exactly who he was at that moment.
And then he's like, what does this guy's views have to do with us? It's like, you're having this guy marry you. You're supporting him and giving him a platform.
But I will say this, Jax has never pretended or been accused of being a good guy and a sensitive guy and a person that cares about anyone outside of himself. Jax has proven that time and time again. So Jax is just being Jax. Whereas Brittany, she's such a good person. She's a good girl. She's just an innocent. She doesn't understand bullshit.
Guys, because Brittany agrees with him.
Wow.
Yeah, Brittany's,
And
Brittany's
I have
a Bible
quote
girl.
to back it up.
Uh-oh.
Look, some pastors go by the Bible, and I'm a Christian woman. That's it. That's why she was distressed, because in her heart, her family believes that, and she's torn. She's like, I got all my new LA food, LGBTQ, whatever friends, and then I got my family.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why she's not and I don't care, because she's been out of that family for a long time now. She's been in the real world.
I'm gonna fucking kill
I'll
you.
kill you all. I'll kill you all. Find you all where you live, and
I'll find you in the bowels of WeHo.
I'll find you where you live, and I will be angry. That's about all I can give you. But I will tag you.
I had a shadow feeling during this thing that Brittany is protesting too much because she was getting trolled online. And then we saw the thing with the princess thing, how badly it triggers her.
Sick of her and that goddamn princess stuff.
Fun. I was cracking up when they started popping up all of the comments on the
it's
page.
Dumb.
I was almost like, is my handle up there? Like, I was like, did I write something? Like,
I don't understand why people go online and like say shitty things to each other when they can do it in back of, behind their back in a podcast.
Like we do?
Yeah, exactly. But I don't do it to their faces, which is what I have said all the time.
I would never leave a comment like that on her thing, but all those comments were what I was saying to my friends as I was watching it. I was like, I cannot, I convulsed when the princesses showed up. Like, I could not.
Because it was so insane.
Yeah.
And because it's too much already. And I'm sick of celebrating them. I am so sick of celebrating them.
So sick of it.
I'm done. And
I've been getting married forever. And I know Jax was basically on our podcast last week.
He sure was. And honestly, I cried and I'd cry again. And he was beautiful and I loved him.
And I appreciate it.
And I thank him.
I turned to my friend and I go, oh, is their wedding going to be on the show? Because I thought that maybe you just had to watch Jax and Brittany get married and that was the whole wedding.
I thought for a second,
but we're going to get it on Vanderpump too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
can't believe
that never occurred to me.
It's been so long. I cannot go through anymore. If they don't get married
it feels
next
like the
week,
engagement at Neptune's Net was 10 years ago, doesn't it?
Neptune's that shitty place in Malibu.
Fucking plastic trays abound while this girl is getting engaged. I could go across the street. There's a beach.
It was like Clearwater Creek where my grandfather lived later in life. With the tray, the plastic trays in the buffet. It was very...
Yeah. So, such a bad proposal. But look, I just am not into the adult women liking princess stuff. And I thought that was really weird. But I think that's part of what you're talking about. Like, she's very childlike. And that's why they're all protecting her. Because I do
But she's not a child. She is an adult woman.
I think they're all acting like she's their 10-year-old cousin that hangs out with them. And they're like, don't be mean to her. She doesn't even know, But
it's like,
but she is a grown-ass woman.
This is all the same thing. It's the same thing as the toast her dad gave princesses is like traditional. That's Brittany.
Well,
and I know people are going to come for me, and I think consciously she doesn't agree with this, but unconsciously, I think it's how she was raised, and I think she was too distressed to get rid of the pastor. I can understand her being pissed he did that and fuck, now we have to let go of him. I was kind of hoping to have this family connection person, but she was like, I can't do this.
No.
Yeah.
Because her family was probably freaking out too.
Oh, yeah.
And then I love how they're like, we got Lance Bass.
They went completely the other way.
They went entirely the other. Well, Lisa Vanderpump pulled that out. She's like, enough of this bullshit. Get this pastor off there. Lance Bass.
Yep.
You need to do this for me.
He parasailed over
real quick. He's always on call.
Lisa was the hookup for that.
Oh,
and then it was but then it also sounds like they're there were old Instagrams of them hanging out together.
Through Lisa. They are not friends. Now, what I found even more distressing was that Peter, I cannot stand Peter.
I know you're going to say when they cut to Peter. I wrote it down. I go, when they cut to Peter. That's all I wrote.
And when he's like, I take this groomsman shit very seriously. And I was like, you are a big turd. And
such a bitch.
He is the worst.
And Peter, if you're listening, you do not have the kind of face or hair that can be long. Stop growing your hair long. It's not good.
Go short.
It can't happen.
Go short.
He's okay with his hair short.
You know what? Go short or go home or just go home.
Yeah. Which everyone would be okay with.
Yeah, fine.
I just want to say,
lives at Sir, though.
Well, then he can't go home.
Yeah. You'd be home if you lived here.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Did you?
I was just gonna say I'm really enjoying this orange wine, but I would prefer a Beauperol spritz. Do you guys? Are you serving those?
Beauperol.
Beau has his own drinks. A Beauperol
Guys,
spritz.
I could have seen myself.
Did you like Beau's funny cooking videos? Oh, were they funny?
So
Who
bad.
the fuck wants to watch people cook? I'm sorry. I'm seeing all these Instagrams like, okay, here's how I make. It's like, I don't give a fuck, especially not Beau, who thinks he's a
talking
quote.
in an Italian accent like
cut
a Mario brother.
No.
He thinks he's a cut up.
Oh,
And she's like, I got on my hands a fucking comedian.
I would have. I'm gonna tell you something.
Uh-oh.
I would have definitely dated Beau.
So would I.
Definitely.
especially if you'd been with a guy like Patrick first,
Yo,
who just
Patrick was-
ruined you
Yo.
self-esteem wise.
He really-
and then this other guy comes around. He's like, "Oh, let's make a funny video.
Yes.
You're pretty."
He's like,
of
I'm in a
course
bow
you'd be like,
tie.
Marry me.
My
Yeah.
mom's a therapist.
Yeah.
Fine. Especially when your mom is like a
Oh, her mom is a
Nightmare.
psychopath.
psychopath.
Yeah.
And this week was the return of James and Raquel, which I appreciated.
Raquel. I fast forwarded through Raquel's scene.
Well, she is a crazy little baby. Like she is just a wide-eyed baby. She is an idiot.
She's just like membranes, just like floating.
But when this was my favorite thing ever, though, when she didn't show up at work because James was yelling at her and like, "You stupid bitch," or whatever he was saying to her. Not that, but like basically the subtext. And then she's like, "And then I got in trouble," and he's like, "Well, that was stupid of you to come." He was like, "You shouldn't have come. And that's on you because I'm gonna yell, but you shouldn't listen to me.
Please don't-
And who's that on? That's on you." And I was like, "What?"
Like, please don't fire me, Lisa. Her voice
Yeah.
is so
But for
She's
James
another
to-
one. She's in the Teresa Giudice. Nothing's going on behind those eyes.
nothing.
No one's at the inn.
No one's
Like,
at the
it's
wheel. No one's
wheel of that.
hosting.
Yeah, Jesus, take the wheel because Raquel is
Yeah.
not driving that ship.
No one's hosting in her
He
brain.
is
There's
like
no one
emo-
at the front desk.
He's like emotionally abusive with that
Yes!
stuff, though. Like being like, "You shouldn't have done that." But also, if you hadn't come, I would have drank. Like, what am I supposed to do?
She's
Like,
locked in something. so
yeah.
dark.
And her, like, that scene where they were in the apartment and she was just kind of staring off and she's like, "No, yeah, I'm not going to the party." I was like, this is that
It's
show,
so dark.
as we've all said a million times, is the darkest place.
It
I
is.
think.
It's all our
tunnel,
worst
a dark
day
depth. Yeah.
as our 20-somethings, but they're like 40.
Yeah,
It's as dark as night.
it is.
Yeah.
Pitch black.
And yet, eating
And
up,
yet,
licking it up like chocolate sauce.
trying to think if there's anything else. Dana.
Let me look. Shania Twain. Now, first of all,
they kept calling.
I
it.
love Shania Twain. I'm not going to, feels like a woman. Great. But for still the one to be your wedding song when your fiance had sex with another woman on top of an old person.
But that's what she's trying to be like. Is like even through all that,
Like,
you're
they didn't
still
say
the
we'd
one.
make it. It's like that's not a good thing.
Like,
Like
you're
it's
still the
called
one.
a warning.
Yeah.
It's called a warning. It's not like
And they kept
they say
calling
we wouldn't
it.
make it.
She's like, but a good little lady stands by her man.
They kept calling it "Looks Like We Made It" like 10 times. They
No,
were
and
like,
it's
"Looks
like,
like we made it,"
it's
and that's
still
not
the
the name
one.
of the song. It's still the
Still
one.
the one.
And they were like, "She loves Shania Twain." I'm like, Shania Twain's husband cheated on her with her best friend.
Shania Twain is a Canadian, and but I do love "Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under." That's a
what?
great fucking song.
Probably a better wedding song for Jackson
100%.
Brittany. That would make much more
I would
sense.
love that.
Or she should do "Man, I Feel Like a Woman."
Also,
Also, her lyrics are the best. Okay, so you're Brad Pitt. Who's better? That
I
song's
do
so
love some
fucking good.
Shania Twain. Real quick, at one point,
I would have seen Shania over Ani DiFranco
Oh, I'd
any
see him. Oh, of
fucking
course.
day.
Name the date, I'll be there.
Yeah, me
I bet
too.
I know more songs.
I bet I could get Matt there too.
Bet you could. But one point, Raquel literally looks directly at the camera. Did anyone see that? And she was just like, "Hi, who are you?" Like that was the look on her
God.
face. Like, who's that guy?
Okay, but Dana, conversely, I was saying, Dana, when you see her in a scene with everyone, please watch. She looks about 3 feet off of their eyes the way we had to on Saturday Night Live, where you're really just looking at cute cards. So you're just like looking next to someone. She's not engaged with them on any level. Like she's not
Yeah, they're-
looking
yeah.
at them.
Yeah.
She's performing. Yes, like you
Mhm.
said. Like
Yeah.
she's not a part of the scene.
no,
I
as
agree. I've
opposed
seen that.
to Raquel, who's like, "Who are all those people standing there with
Are you taping me?
cameras?" Like she doesn't know what's going
Yeah,
on.
you're right.
It's cruel what we're doing to her.
Yeah.
Wait, also, I just liked when
Not
Kristen,
us, I mean the show.
Kristen was like, I'm an athlete. And I was then watched her whiff at 10 balls, but she was like, in life, in work, I always hit a home run. I'm like, bitch, there's nothing about your life is a home run.
You haven't had a single.
Yeah,
You haven't-
literally, maybe a walk is the best you could hope for.
Maybe a walk.
And
Like,
I don't
we had
know
to forfeit the
sports.
game because you didn't show up.
Yeah, I don't know sports, but she's just whatever sport is that, she's just on the sidelines drinking.
With
Like
those
there is
crazy
not-
glasses. When she like ran into the fight with Jax and was like, "Is this about James?" And he's like, "No, it's
That
about
was-
the pastor." She's like, "Okay."
I caught that and was like, you're still on this? Like,
But then 2
she's
seconds later, she started yelling, like getting Jax's back. Like, she's not right. This has been a darker podcast. Are we being too mean?
To who?
To whom? To our friends,
To our friends,
our
not
crew.
to their faces. It's fine if it's not to their faces, and if people don't tag them.
Have you guys ever asked your husbands who they're attracted to on Vanderpump Rules? Because I asked my husband one time, who of these girls do you think
Oh,
is
of course
the
I
hottest?
have.
And what did
And he
both of them
goes,
say?
That one, and it was Kristen.
What?
I think he was
Sorry
like,
for your loss.
she
You'll
looks
have to divorce
gettable.
him
I
now.
think it's like she looks gettable.
We'll definitely get
Yeah.
it. Okay.
That's
Well,
how I want to
appreciate
be. When
that.
people see me in a big,
Nice.
you know, that's what I want to be in a group. The one that looks gettable. Like I appreciate that role.
Yeah.
And I hope I fit that role in many a group. I'd like that.
I was deeply
Yeah,
troubled. when
David
he
was
told me.
like,
I was
Ariana,
like,
of
Stassi
course.
is pretty. Ariana's very gorgeous. He was like, no. I
Matt
want the one that
doesn't
looks like I
a
could get her.
blonde. One time a long time ago, I felt that he, like when we first started dating, so this is dating us, but I thought that he had like a thing for like Carmen Electra. So I want to say, I don't know.
So if that's it, wait, what you think his preference is? He would like Lala.
Yeah, I think a
Yeah.
Lala type.
Yeah,
Because
that's
Lala's
great.
the most Carmen Electra.
Yeah, like just like a real like sex machine.
My
Yeah.
husband literally says he's never attracted to any woman except Robin Givens. Is this whole
That's
we keep talking about Robin Givens? Is all we think about is Robin Givens? Yes, and Andy McDowell's daughter.
Oh,
Yeah.
Margaret Qualley?
Yeah,
Is that her name? Yes.
Yeah, Margaret
quite
Qualley.
thin.
She is, and we got a lot of foot shots in Once Upon a Time in America. That was tough for
Yeah, and
her.
a
hope
full,
that maybe
and
that put him off.
a full grown out armpit
Maybe
as
that
well.
put him off.
No.
You hope so. Are you jealous of Margaret Qualley?
Oh, yes.
Matt Time once thought she had heard before we were dating that I was dating this like Daily Show anchor, which was not true. And now anytime we see that person on something, he's like, there's your ex-boyfriend. I was like, I don't know this person.
I don't know this
I've
man.
never met him in my life, but he still like has an anger about
kind
it.
of
It's
cute.
so
Danielle, you
strange.
wanted to give a little update because speaking of like who looks like who.
Oh, yes. I would like to thank everyone. I know that I shared with everyone
were
on the
very
podcast that I felt as a young 18-year-old in New York City that I looked like Kate Moss. I felt that I did, and that people were going to mistake us for each other walking
you were
down
worried.
the street. And I was worried that people would think I was Kate Moss, and how embarrassing would that
and
be
you're
for
very
me?
beautiful,
Of
so I'm
course I
not
am.
scoffing.
Oh no, I'm gorgeous. And I look like Kate Moss, and that was the problem.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to appreciate the many people that have sent me pictures of Kate Moss saying like, oh, I saw you at the airport.
Oh, so I thought you said okay.
What?
Because you were like, so many people sent me photos of Kate Moss. I thought for sure it was going to be like side by side.
side by
no,
side.
no,
That's what I
it's
was
literally like a
thinking.
joke. It's literally like someone's like at the airport looking at a magazine
Yeah.
and Kate Moss, and then they're like, hey, saw you at the airport.
Saw you
I-
smoking a cigarette
Yeah,
at TSA.
like, hey, I didn't know you dated Johnny Depp. Like lots of
Yeah,
things of
lots
that
of
nature,
jokes.
and I appreciate that.
I like it.
So, I know that they're true. I know that they truly
I'm just
believe.
glad that you weren't put through all that trouble.
No, I'm so glad that I didn't have to be embarrassed by so many people and having to tell them they were wrong.
Right.
Because that's just embarrassing when you think someone's someone famous and then it turns out like they're not. Like I didn't want to embarrass other people like that.
You know who you're just reminding me of right now? I'm in a Schitt's Creek wormhole.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Have you guys seen it?
I watch every
it's so
episode.
good.
I just got into it. I feel like I'm the last.
Oh, I love it.
I haven't
so
seen every
much.
episode,
I love
but
it.
I am such a huge Catherine O'Hara. Like,
Oh, well,
Oh,
of
she's like,
course.
and I think she's the best in the show.
Of
She's so
course,
good.
she
Like,
is everything.
but everyone on that show was so great.
Yeah.
so
funny.
great. I also, when I was just at the dentist, you know, I get major laughing gas just
Yes.
to get my teeth cleaned, and I pretend I'm like really, really scared.
You do a very big
I
performance.
do. You won't even
Oscar,
believe.
why you're not getting an Oscar,
Honestly,
Emmy, Tony
at
for
points
that?
I kick my shoes off, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just not feeling it.
You're doing like prop comedy.
I don't know if it's not strapped on enough. And they're like, well, it metabolizes in everyone's system differently. I go, I don't know. I've always needed a lot of medication. And then they crank it. Again, she's like brushing my teeth. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm scared. And then the best was that the dentist was like, your crown is crumbling. Like, I need to fix it immediately. She's like, do we need the laughing gas? I'm like, oh, we're good. And then she's like, so you need it for a cleaning, but not like all that work we did in there. I was like, it's so weird. I was like, I think I had PTSD from the scraping. So when I was younger, I had a bad situation with the dentist. My whole point being, they put the TV on. It was Beetlejuice. So I'm all like off on my laughing gas watching Catherine O'Hara and Beetlejuice. Greatest performance of all time.
Amazing.
The sculptures and that hair.
Otho. Yeah.
Otho! Where is Otho?
I looked him up recently.
You did?
Yeah, I think he might be dead. Let me look.
Oh, he's so funny.
I love that movie.
It's such a great fucking movie.
It's so good. But what were you going to say about Schitt's Creek and Danielle? Is she giving you Alexis
She's
vibes?
giving me Alexis
Oh, really?
vibes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ew, David. I really like that show.
She's so,
She's
funny.
so funny. Everyone on that show.
I've also cried many times
Oh,
on that
it's a
show.
beautiful show.
It's like, I just watch it sometimes before I go to bed. It's not like it's a million hard jokes in your face. It's just like lovely comedy that like puts
we were watching again when she like does that wine commercial and she's like wasted and does the wine commercial. She's like,
fruit wine.
The fruit wine. Oh my
so
God.
good. And I love David.
Oh, Levy.
Daniel
Yeah,
Levy.
he's so good.
Funny.
So funny.
And I mean, all of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
It's
The woman that
show.
plays Ronnie.
Yeah, she's
What
so
a
good.
gift. What a
She's
gift.
so good.
Oh, she's great. What have I seen her on?
I've never seen her.
I had neither, and I love The Mayor's Wife.
Oh, yeah. She's
Jocelyn?
fantastic.
Jocelyn.
Everyone.
It's so funny.
It's so good.
Yeah.
No.
Should we take a break and then do Atlanta?
Yeah.
What's poppin', congregation? I'm Lacey Mosley, aka Scam Goddess and host of Scam Goddess, the podcast celebrating fraud and all those who practice it. Each week, I keep listeners up to date on current rackets, deep dives into the latest scams, and break down historic hoodwinks alongside some of your favorite comedians, honey. It's like true crime, but without all the death. True fun-ass crimes with only a little death. Episodes drop every Tuesday. Listen and subscribe on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And remember, congregation, stay scheming.
We're back after ending Vanderpump with a recap of Schitt's Creek.
Guys,
But that's
we go where
more
we
than Vanderpump
go.
deserves.
Guys, Atlanta. Now, we started this week's episode in Nini's boutique tags. And anytime a housewife goes into their own stores, it looks like they're playing shop. You know what I mean? It looks like they've never been in there
You
before.
can tell
They're
they
always
do
like,
not know the people
oh,
that
yeah.
work
And then
there.
they're just like, this hangs here. Like sort of miming hanger. Like it always looks so insane to me. They've never set
The
foot in
shop
those
person
stores.
looks surprised to see them.
What are you
Like their eyes are
doing
very
here?
wide, like they've just like burglarized the place.
Anytime like Kyle used to go into Kyle by Aileen Tuna, it was always like, this is where this go. Like it just looked like she had never seen a store before.
I just drove by after my dentist appointment. Of course, I got right back in my car because but I had a healthy dose of oxygen before I took the wheel again. But Kyle by Aileen too, name's still up, store still empty for rent.
But gone,
Gone but not
Yeah,
forgotten.
gone but not forgotten. That's right.
But yeah, so that's always fun to see. Again, Nene
like,
just
I
being
was-
like pretending to be in charge of a store.
I didn't think that there was ever a moment that Nene would work in her own like, I don't know why what's the point? Like, you're not keeping up appearances for me. I don't think I'd ever walk in there and find you.
No.
You know, so what's the point of all that?
I think it's like, it's
New
all
settings
make-believe.
for the show. Yeah.
It's fun. And we do know that they have stores, but
Yeah, I forgot actually.
I forgot.
I completely
See-
forgot Nene had a store until we were there.
half of them have stores. Candy has a store. Nene has a store.
Candy has
Candy
a
has
store.
a store?
Candy has
Ooh,
a
there was
store.
something very bad happened to Noel J. Very bad. A man was killed.
No.
Yes, last weekend I read. It was some type of shooting, yes. I
No.
know. Not in the main OLG, in the second one.
In the satellite
Yes,
location?
yes.
The breakfast? No, that hasn't opened.
That
yet.
hasn't opened yet. But they do have like 2 or 3 OLGs.
Yes,
and that
it's the
food is
second one.
good.
Oh yeah, I really want to
that
go.
I went to
the
I tried to go in
original.
Atlanta and it was like
Oh, it's
hour
packed.
wait. Yeah.
April and I got in in a jam. Like we just like slip in at a weird hour and it was delicious.
Ooh.
I love candy. And I will say, not just last week, I was like, ugh, Candy, like, what are you bringing? But Candy brought a lot this week with those testimonials. The way she took down Nene for that leopard party.
Oh.
She was like, she comes in late, not wearing leopard. She's like, this is not a group of entrepreneurs. She's like,
that
what
was a
are we
group of
doing here?
extras at best.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she had never set eyes on those women in her life.
She didn't know
one
an
woman's
Instagram
name.
up and was like, fans, I need you to be at
She
Chi-Chi's
did
or
not-
whatever that place was.
She
At
did
like,
Leopard.
yeah.
To come 2.5 hours late to your own party and then to get mad at someone who
Yeah.
comes late is a is why I love Nene Leakes, but it is a shock to the system.
The beginning of it was when I first saw the invitation, they flashed it on the screen. It was like, join me tomorrow. I was like, tomorrow?
And the housewives were like, we'll be
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was like, that's it? It's just an Instagram graphic the day before the party and everyone's just available. I mean, of course, nobody was available because everyone was 2 to 2.5 hours late.
Oh, except for Kenya was there on time.
Well, no, Kenya got there at 3. It was like supposed to start at 2. So Kenya was still an hour late, but Nene was 2.5 hours late.
Candy
so
was like,
technically
you're
Kenya
pretty
was
late.
early.
yeah, that was. And then to get mad at Portia for coming like 20 minutes after you.
I think
Like,
the only
what?
person that was truly on time was the woman who was going into labor.
Yes, Eva.
Eva and Cynthia.
Yeah.
Have we seen Nene's Rolls Royce with the celestial ceiling?
I thought that was cool.
So fucking cool. I wrote, I'm obsessed with it.
I thought
Didn't
that
even
was
take
so
note.
cool.
You didn't take note?
No.
So
Oh,
this
there's,
the
like,
ceiling is
sparkles.
sparkle. It looks like kind of like a planetarium.
Yeah.
Ooh, I would like
It's
that.
fucking awesome.
It's really cool.
I didn't even.
Yeah.
Guys, the whole Nene Cynthia thing, I had me in tears when we flashed back to all of their like greatest hits and their
Yeah.
friendships. I felt it.
Mm.
And then the meeting, I also was just like, I hope they're okay. But Nene just cannot
She
be
cannot.
vulnerable. She cannot hear criticism.
She cannot apologize. She cannot. That's why, guys, I'm going to say something.
Mm.
It's time for Lanithia to go. Truly. And this is why. Because she can't.
Lanithia Monique Leaks.
Yes. I love her. You know I love Nene. But we do have to change and grow a little bit with the times. And I do think she can't do that. So it's just argument because she's not getting along with anyone. So she's not having fun with anyone.
Mhm.
So we're not getting fun Nene and we're not getting vulnerable Nene. And those are kind of the two playing
But what if we
fields.
start getting fun Nene next week? Now that Cynthia and her friends.
We're not going to. They're not real enough friends. It's not gonna.
Well, did you see Kenya on Watch What Happens Live?
No.
She was like, Andy, you're clearly cutting Nene down because we've seen her about 1 minute on the show. Like, she's not participating anymore. Like,
Mhm.
you're on your way out, Nene. And then Nene released a statement and was basically, and Andy, which Andy like said was right. He's like, well, that's all we filmed of her. Like, what you
Nothing's
see.
on the cutting room floor.
Yes, what you see is what you get. Like,
Mm.
she's not being phased out, basically. But Kenya, even though, like, the boss, the person responsible was telling her that, she was like, we'll see.
I love her though.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
She's
Kenya-
the fucking best. And if you don't think that, you're...
No. And she plays
Kenya?
she plays so many different angles,
Yes,
levels. She's working on every level.
When she's with her own baby, she's still making her dear friend Cynthia feel badly about her
Yes,
relationship. She's
but
like, can't
she's-
trust a man that cheats. And
yeah,
then
like
she's
she
like,
can do
yes.
10 things at once. Nene's just, we're not getting new flavors. Like she's,
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. I think Nene, the days, I mean, I kind of miss like Kim and Nene.
Yes.
Like that fun Nene of when she's like, has like a best pal that she's just goofing with. Like that's when she's fun and she doesn't have that.
She doesn't have any friends.
And a lot of the OGs are gone, right? Like Bethany and Lisa V and
Vicky.
and
It's
like
the
you
fall
know,
of an empire.
It's the fall of the OGs, I think. But I think it's like, I really think Portia or Kenya can like take the reins from here.
oh, they're both
100%.
fantastic.
Yeah, you're right.
Fantastic.
I like Nene, you know, as we are
I do
real
too.
friends.
I mean, as you are, yeah.
And she is by far one of the funniest human beings alive, but we're not
We're
getting
not
to
seeing it.
We're not getting to
Yeah.
see the joy that is Nene, whether she's angry or she's happy. We're just not getting enough
Mm-hmm.
different things from her. And so she's lacking to me. I'm not saying she can't pull it back together, but she needs a friend and it can't just be Marlo.
You're right. She needs a partner in crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marlo, they give so much screen time.
They
to.
They should be paying her
Why is she
well.
not? It's been established she doesn't have a peach because she's like uninsurable or something like that. Is that
What?
like? I feel like I've heard that like they can't insure Marlo and that's why she's not a
I
housewife.
did not
She
know
literally,
this.
her makeup artist gets a Chiron. Like it's like crazy how much she's on the
Wow.
show, and then she doesn't have a peach. I think it's because like she can't be insured. I've like read that on a
Something's
blog or
happened.
something.
Interesting.
I got that
No
from somewhere, and if
idea.
it wasn't your podcast, I don't know where it was, but I heard
Wasn't
that
us.
somewhere.
Again, we don't need to We
No,
don't
wait,
know
we don't
where
need
that
side sources.
I got it
We
from
don't.
somewhere. Is
And
that
that's
perfect?
enough. We will sort that.
I heard
We
that
will
from somewhere, and then
cite
it's
that source.
allegedly for
somewhere.
sure.
I
but-
think at the end of the show, we should just say allegedly.
Yeah.
One time.
Well,
Allegedly.
why else would she not be? Like, she's
doing
great
so much heavy
television.
lifting.
She's doing a lot of heavy lifting. She's facilitating people getting back together in friendships. I don't know. It's like she's got this great storyline with like adopting those children or like taking those children in. Like, why wouldn't she just be a housewife?
I get it. I think she's maybe a little too crazy.
Yeah.
But who
Like a
isn't?
hair?
Yeah.
Danielle Staub was crazy. I mean, she's
But
not a housewife
Danielle's
anymore.
a friend.
I guess if you're too crazy, you're a friend of.
One last thing with the fight between Cynthia and Nene. I couldn't believe that Nene's whole thing was like, when you called me a toxic friend, that hurt me. That hurt me so much. That hurt me because I try not to be a toxic friend. I mean, Nene's the most toxic person in the world.
Yes.
But anyway, we don't know how we see ourselves. You know, she's like, that really hurt me. Meanwhile, we saw footage, or we saw that Cynthia had said that Nene made Greg's cancer all about her, but Nene never brought that up. I was like, that's like the worst thing you could possibly say about someone. And Nene was upset that she said she was a toxic friend.
But she is a toxic friend.
I mean, it's hard because she is my friend.
I know.
You know from our
And that's
meeting,
why I
it's
want
just
you
hard.
to watch
She's
up.
not been a toxic friend to me.
I know. And the one time that you met her,
She was loyal.
Lovely.
Yep. Yeah.
Can I also say that Marlo, when she was getting made up for the leopard party, looked beautiful. Like, no makeup, Marlo.
She's pretty.
Gorgeous.
Kind of like a Kim Kardashian thing where you're like, you look beautiful with
She
no
looked
makeup.
Yeah.
so beautiful. I was like, I'd like to see more of this. And then also, we saw the most mature fight resolution we've ever seen on Housewives ever, which was Kenya and Cynthia during that baby scene.
Yeah, when
They
Brooklyn is
resolved
eating
where she was
Chilean
like-
sea bass.
Where I was so impressed. I was like,
It's like, okay,
you were
I
feeding
need
her
to
like
step it
real
up.
food.
I need to.
I was
Baby
like,
had a
I
rice cake
just
for
give
dinner.
I was like, when my child was a baby, I would give her just like a pouch of something and be like, "Soup's on." Like, I was just like, whatever. I was like, "You're giving her Chilean sea bass?"
And she goes, miso Chilean sea bass.
Oh my god!
Like,
For
what?
that, my daughter got Trader Joe's pizza tonight, and she liked it. And I was like, "What?" But I will say that she was called out. They both kind of laughed, and Kenya copped to it. She's like, "You're right. I did throw you under the bus. That wasn't cool." And Cynthia was like, "Yeah." And then they resolved. I don't think I've ever seen a resolution happen so maturely, and everyone like handles themselves
They
well
seem to
in
be
all the
like
housewives
real
ever.
friends. Although,
Yeah.
again, why did no one go to Kenya's wedding?
She
Why
didn't
did no one
invite
go to
anyone.
Kenya's wedding, and why did Kenya ruin her engagement? Like, I thought that was.
Exactly. Ooh. And I think she's still trying to meddle when, like
Yeah.
I said, like
Oh,
when
yeah.
she was like, "Oh, careful, Mark could cheat again." Like that is meddling.
Yeah.
The way what she's up to with Tanya, Kenya is messy, messy,
She's
messy,
messy, but she is also Tanya came for the wrong person. Tanya stepped to the wrong person.
And
I
also-
blame Tanya for that. Know
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah. I also feel like Kenya is feeling so like put down by that man that she's with that she's lashing out like extra hard in places where she feels she has power, you know, like
Yeah.
against people like
I
Tanya
see that.
or whatever.
and that's why
Because
this
that
guy
man-
and Nene, they like each other
Yeah.
because they both hate Kenya.
Yeah.
Oof. Wow.
It's dark.
It's dark. It's very dark. But
I mean, Eva, it goes to show how little she does for me that when she's
forgot.
in labor, I'm like, oh, can I fast forward this?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, when she left, I was like, okay, good. Now she's out of the way. Let's get back to the
let's
leopard
get
lunch.
back.
yeah, that leopard lunch was fascinating.
You guys,
Fascinating.
for the longest time, the only thing on that table was like a half drunk margarita and like a bottle of Tapatio. And it was just like 20 women at the table and not a
know.
drink was served.
Because they didn't feed
not
the
even a chip.
They did not feed the extras.
Yeah.
And they're like, and you can't talk because we have to pay you more.
No, those and the way that like they descended as soon as Nene came, like they were all sitting there to the side, and then all of a sudden like 30
just
women
showed.
appeared.
Oh,
that
it
was,
was
And
so
so
Candy
wild.
kept calling it out. She's like, I've never seen these women.
Yeah, they're like, don't look at the camera. You can raise an eyebrow, but you're not getting fed.
Candy
Don't
was like-
speak unless spoken
Kenny's
to.
like, these are not her friends.
And then they're like, oh, and you're all entrepreneurs. Okay.
yeah.
And go. And they like release and they literally descended at the same time. It wasn't like a lot of times on set, they're like, we want to make it look like backgrounds or like everyone's kind of coming. So like one after the other, they all were like,
One,
run
two,
for the table. Like it was weird, but it was a blast to watch. Like I loved watching.
Yeah.
Leopard party.
And then she was like, Portia, let's resolve our differences in front of these 25 strangers. Like these extras that popped by. I thought Portia
Nene's
looked beautiful.
trying to get.
Oh,
Beautiful.
always.
Portia looks so beautiful. I mean, Nene's trying to get back in some graces.
Yeah.
And I love that Candy's
the apology
never
tour.
having it.
Yeah, that's what
So
Cynthia
to your
said.
credit, I bet she kind of knows I need to get another pal.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah,
But
to have some fun with.
Who's going to be her friend? I bet if Nene would say she's sorry, which she will not, she will never cop to it. Even when she says she's sorry, she cannot do it. If she would even cop to it with Portia, Portia could be a good friend for her.
They're grateful. They're great pals.
But that's not going to happen.
It did feel like, though, did you feel it was real? I did, and I cried, so I don't know. But when Nene was crying in the testimonial, to me, that was her apology.
But that's not enough. It seemed like she was crying for herself, and she was crying for herself. That's not enough. I'm sorry. It's not enough.
For Nene, I thought that was a lot.
It felt self-flagellation. Like it just kind of felt like masturbation.
It's hard because Nene and I haven't gone through that. So
I know,
don't
but
know
you will.
What I
because
would expect of
Nene
her.
will turn on you too, Casey. She will turn on you too. It's
don't
a matter of
find her-
time.
I don't believe that.
No, it's a matter of time. When your number's up with Nene, your number's up. And you're
What if I
everyone-
never see her again? Well, I guess that's
you,
her
it
turning.
doesn't matter.
That
It
is
does
her
not
turning.
matter.
Right.
She will find you and she will hurt your heart.
Okay.
So be
Thank
warned.
you. Gosh, anything else about Elena? It wasn't like there wasn't.
No. I think next week.
I did
What?
love when Portia was like, don't send me an invite, like whatever the day before. Like, well, I guess there's no other way you can get in touch with me. I blocked you everywhere. Like, it was so funny.
I love her.
I know that
So
was
much.
really funny. Guys, also really quick. I know we're not covering Shahs. I'm of course like still a devotee to Shahs. Do you watch Shahs?
I'm like vaguely familiar with like Asa and
Yeah, we all, like,
MJ
know the
and like
Shahs.
the
We know the
people.
players in the game,
Yeah,
even if we don't know what
I
they
don't
are.
really. I remember there was like a baby being born at
Yeah.
one point.
Yes.
Like, but it's all very tangential.
Okay, all I'm gonna say is it's been on for 8 seasons. I think we're at the greatest episode that's ever occurred. This last one and what's
What
coming
happened?
up. It's just crazy. MJ Mercedes
Yes.
is in the hospital having a baby. She had cholestasis, which I had, so the baby had to be born early. So she's in the hospital. When she wakes up, just hear me out, guys. When she wakes up, which is horrible, they say we have to remove your uterus. She goes back under for an insane surgery. Then the baby's in the ICU. She's in the hospital. It's been a day, okay?
Uh-huh.
So that's what Mercedes is going through. Baby healthy, she's healthy. But that's what's happening over here, okay? Back in the real world, okay? You know Reza
Yeah.
and his boyfriend Adam, his husband
Yeah.
Adam. There's a new villain named Ali Ashuri. It's a name that as I was sleeping, I was like, Ali Ashuri. Like, Ali Ashuri is just the new villain, and I'm loving his name. He accused Reza's husband. He took Reza to lunch and he was like, listen, your husband has been sexually harassing a ton of us. Here are the receipts. Like, here's all the text messages. He sends us explicit text. That kind of like nerdy guy that's married to Reza, Adam, anybody?
Yes.
Okay. And he's like, he wants to play strip Jenga with us all. It's all a lot about strip Jenga. So Reza goes so fucking nuts. He pins this guy up against one of those horrible restaurants in Beverly Hills where there's like fake gas fire like outside. He pins him up, and then the guy goes, look, I'm sorry. Mercedes is the one that told me you guys were on the rocks. This is what Ali Ashuri says. Now, this is the same day that Mercedes is in the hospital, ICU, uterus taken out. Reza knows she's just had a baby, in a white hot rage, calls her and goes, did you tell Ali Ashuri that my relationship was on the rocks? And you hear her going, what? What? The doctor's coming in. The doctor's coming in.
God.
Yes. And what follows, we know what follows because we saw it online, which is that Mercedes' husband, you know, the guy I love so much. It is on a Nest camera. He comes and destroys Reza and Adam's outdoor garden with his fists. He takes huge potted planters and throws them.
Who does that? Ali Ashuri?
No.
Sorry.
MJ's husband.
MJ's husband, a man I love whose name is
Oh, he's
escaping
mad
me.
because his
Yes,
wife
because his
and-
wife was in
Yeah,
the
is getting
ICU and he's
screamed
not
at.
saying congratulations. He never
Yeah.
came
all
to
on
see the
Nest
baby.
cam footage.
It's all guys, you can look it up. It is so amazing. Tommy. So Tommy just walks in and looks around like, what can I destroy? And he just picks up huge planters that he can't even get his arms around and just throws them and they crash down. He destroys their garden. And I had thought, what could have happened to get us here? And that's where we're at.
Wow.
It's a really fucking
Wow.
I'm going to have to watch.
That's a
That
tale.
sounds
That's a tale.
Oh, you're
something.
hooking me in. Maybe I'll
I know,
watch.
wow.
Sorry,
Real
I
life
have to.
drama. Real life
I
drama.
just had to share that.
Yeah.
Kara, any final thoughts? You're looking forward to New York?
Can't wait for New York.
Yeah, we saw an ad tonight
So
for New York that
excited.
looked fun.
I feel like I'm okay without Bethany so far.
Me too.
With
So
the
far, so
ads.
good.
I feel like I'm good.
I mean, and, you know, we've just seen
Yeah.
one ad.
It's
so
one.
not-
It's one. Well, it's an extended trailer, and
You're
I feel,
right.
I feel
Andy, when
comfortable.
we spoke
You
to him,
saw it.
when Andy surprised us,
Oh,
never forget.
what a moment!
When he did say we have a season.
Yeah.
He said we have a season.
I hope he has the same thing to say about Beverly Hills because
I think he
I've
said.
not heard that yet.
No, I thought he said we have a season.
He said about Jersey. We
have a season.
But he was
Yeah.
fucking right about
Oh,
Jersey.
Jersey's fun.
Yeah.
when New York is on soonish.
I think so. I don't have the dates.
And then Beverly Hills is after coming.
I hope Potomac. And he also said about Potomac.
Oh, he said Potomac. No, he said we have more than a season.
Yeah, he said Potomac.
is one. The next season is one of the greatest seasons of Housewives history.
Okay, I'm getting into Potomac now.
Potomac
I
is
watched
so-
I watched everything else, and then Potomac this past year I was
Potomac
in and
is
out.
so
Yeah.
It's
good.
so good.
They have risen
Yeah.
to the top of the ranks.
Yeah, everyone says, and I need
And
to.
he also said we have a season with Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
It seems like we have a lot of seasons.
Seems like
he
we're
said you
in
guys
good-
are gonna love Salt Lake City, and I was like, I'll believe it when I see it.
We'll believe it. We'll see it. You
Yeah.
know what? He never said we had a season with Dallas. And
No,
I
he
wonder
didn't.
if those gals are done.
Dunzo.
I would be okay.
What's her
Yeah.
name might have just spoiled the.
I really
Leah
feel
Monken.
One bad apple.
strongly that they need to fire Leanne.
Oh,
For sure.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
she's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like because that was harrowing.
She's gone.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Guys, this was lovely.
No, I'm so happy to be
Can we?
here in the Nook.
Can
you
we
guys.
know where people
we can find you?
Yes, I'm Kara Klenk, KaraKlenk on all the social media.
I love your name,
things.
Kara Klenk.
Thank you.
I know,
It took
that's
me a long time to get to like
showstopper.
it.
Is that your husband's last name or
No,
your
that's
name?
my last name. I didn't take his last name, and it would have been much easier.
That's
but
your Christian name.
That's my Jewish
Brittany
name.
was. Okay, got it.
Thank you.
And if you live in Los Angeles, I do have a live show every Tuesday called Better Half Comedy that I run with my husband. That is at Bar Bandini in Echo Park.
I love
Nice.
Barbara and Dean.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Well, thank you.
Wonderful.
And thank you so much for having me.
Thank
We're
you.
so
This
happy
was
to
a
have
dream
had
come
you.
true. It's my new credit.
Oh,
When
good.
I get brought up for
happy.
stand-up shows. And be like,
Thank you,
recently heard her on
Casey.
Bitch Sesh.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Lyra.
Thank you, Earwolf.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, everybody.
Wow.
Good night.
Good night.
Good day.
Good morning.
Good evening.